Hi, my name is Jonty. I'm a lawyer at Melbourne Law Studio, and one of our primary practice areas is family law. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about binding financial agreements and consent orders. The most important thing is that you are in agreement with your partner for these, because both of you will need to agree on the conditions before they're arranged. If you are in a battleground, that's a completely different circumstance, and unfortunately, if you can't agree on the consent orders conditions or the binding financial agreement conditions, you will have to come and speak to us to make sure that you've got the best arrangement for your personal circumstances. One of the main concerns we have with people coming is that they come and speak to us and they already have an agreement in place. And we may have a look at it and we realize the court won't agree to it. So that's something really important when we're talking about consent orders, is that it has to be filed with the court and it has to be determined to be just and equitable for both parties. It's really important that in 2, 5, 10 years that this agreement, whether it's the consent orders or a binding financial agreement, is going to be good for your circumstances. And that's why it's important to come and speak to us, because we're going to take an objective flyover view of your own circumstances, and we know that it's a difficult circumstance that you're in right now. We know that sometimes your head's going to be over here and you don't even want to think about these things. That's why you come and speak to us and we can take care of it for you. If you're in agreement, it may seem like a good deal now, but the problem is that in 2, 5, 10 years, you may find out something about your partner that if you hadn't come and spoken to us, you may have never found out about until it's that 5, 10 year scenario. And then you're at a loss because you've somehow found out that there was an investment that's matured, or say for example, your ex-partner wins the lottery or something like that. These are all things that people don't think about when they're in the midst of a separation. So often when we're asked, do I actually need a lawyer for either a binding financial agreement or consent orders? With the binding financial agreement, you actually do need a solicitor. You will need an independent solicitor certificate. The solicitor will go through it with you and determine whether it is fair and equal to you. They will advise you. And oftentimes, if you've already got a draft agreement that you've done between yourselves, there's probably something that isn't fair on either party. Now with consent orders, you don't actually need a lawyer to file those. However, it's to make sure that when you are drafting them, we're talking about those just and equitable requirements. Because when you file it with the court will actually read through it and determine whether they are just and equitable to both parties. And you may draft it up, you may pay the filing fee, and then you find out that the court says, no, that's not just and equitable, and you're back where you started and you have absolutely no guidance on how to do it. And that's the most important part that we provide you, is guidance. We're not going to bully you into going for an agreement that you don't want. We're not going to make you or force you to go into something that you don't want to do. It's so we can guide you to get to the separation that works for you. Yes, it can be. One of the main reasons is a change in circumstances, or if there's been improper disclosure. And that's why it's really important to come and speak to us, because you may not know what the disclosure requirements are, or your ex-partner. The thing is that you may have the best intentions of attempting to make sure that everything has been included, but you may miss something that needs to be included. And unfortunately, once it's signed and in a couple of years, if you find out there's something that was meant to be in there, but it hasn't been included, that may mean that all of that hard work that you put in to get into that good relationship with your partner may have disappeared. And now you're going to be at a battleground trying to stop it from being overturned. So you just want to make sure that when you have the agreement made, it's going to be as solid as possible. If anything I've said today has resonated with you, feel free to check our website. All of our details are there, and you can even book a free 15-minute consultation with us.